Yeah, so the original issue was the breakup of with a girl that I've been with for 5 years. With that came a lot of emotional baggage of not being able to focus on my work. And the more I looked into it, I would say I had a mild level of PTSD from the previous relationship and some of the events that transpired in it, which were stopping me from sleeping. So physically, it took quite a toll on myself because I wasn't sleeping that much. There was days where I was only getting 4 or 5 hours sleep and not being able to sleep at night, not allowing me to focus on my work and just feeling quite trapped in or stuck in my position in life. But I was finding it very difficult to move on from the situation. It was having a negative effect on my ability to form new relationships with other people. It was stopping me in a way from, being able to move on and find a new partner who maybe I'm more compatible with. The best way to put it, and it sounds quite dramatic, but it is quite dramatic. It's had that impact on me is it allows you to become like the crafter of your own destiny. That's the best. That's the best way to put it, and it is that dramatic. It is like when the calls I've had with Andy, like you take back control of your life in a way, and the direction it's going in, because you get to understand why you're acting in the way that you are, and it gives you the tools and the empowerment to actually change course. You do a lot of subconscious behavior that you're unaware of, which is preventing you from moving on from the person that you were with before, and you're not aware of it. So through the calls, it made me see where I was fulfilling my values in a way, but in a way that isn't the actual way that I want. And I wouldn't have been able to uncover that if it wasn't for the call with yourself. And it's only through like the questions that you asked and really delving deep into it that you're able to identify why you're acting in the fashion that you are, and be able to sort of change the course of your reality in a way. So like I said, it firstly, it's the identification of me doing exactly what I wanted to do subconsciously. Although it might not be the conscious behavior that I wanted to enact or get in my life, it alerted me to the fact that I am exactly where I need to be based on my hierarchy of values. And it's not a negative to be where I am, because I'm subconsciously choosing to be there. And then the secondary component of that is that once you have that understanding, it then allows you to consciously change and move in the direction that you actually want to go in. So it's firstly being grateful and accepting where you are because it's serving you. And secondly, it gives you the ability to change course if you want to. And that's the big thing that the coaching has done for me. Yeah, so I'd done the breakthrough experience a little bit earlier on this year. But when we was discussing this in the call, when you're sat down with a facilitator who's skilled, has done this 100 times before, knows the Demartini method inside out, and they're using it on your problems, that's when you start to see the benefit and the application of the columns and the process on a completely different level. Especially when, like I said, the facilitator is extremely skilled, because you can have the tool itself, but if you don't know how to use it to its best efficiency, then it's going to be useless to you. But Andy knows he knows how to use the tool in a way that gets the most out of it. And in that, I can now go back and use the Demartini methods myself with a heightened level of understanding through seeing how Andy's used it in my own life. So definitely, doing breakthrough was one thing, but actually getting high level facilitation is a completely different ballgame. First and foremost, I would say it gives you gracefulness and a gratitude for events that you perceived as being negative. It allows you to see how they've ultimately served you and benefited you in your life. Like things that are unthinkable to be thankful of, you kind of come to a place of being quite thankful for them. and seeing how they're serving you in your life. And I think that alone has a lot of profound effects in terms of allowing you to move on from certain situations, whether that be the loss of a relationship, could be the loss of a loved one, for example. And then secondly, it is raising your level of resonance, you could say. So you could start playing in different fields, and increase your level of life, essentially. It's hard to put it into words, but that's what I would say. It allows you to play in different echelons of the game of life. %. I think when you go through a breakup, what I've kind of noticed from the calls, is that and this is my own perception, is that it can kind of go one of two ways. That you can either self-defeat and sort of say that you maybe didn't deserve the partner that you were with before, and that kind of caps your level of experience with other people in the dating game, right? Or you can look at how the breakup with the person that you're with has served you, and see how they've essentially given you information on how to better yourself. And once you improve yourself, you start interacting with people at a different level in the dating market that you were dealing with before. So that allows you to attract a more inspired mate or empowered mate yourself, and have a better relationship moving forward if you ask the right questions. It's hard to believe that you wouldn't kind of do the coaching if you were going through something similar. And maybe that's because I have a high value on personal development, but I think the main thing for me is that you always want to learn from your experience in life. And if you're not asking the right questions, then there's always a chance that you just repeat the same pattern in the next relationship that you get into. So even if you're able to move on from the person relatively quickly, and it doesn't take you a long time, there's always the chance that if you don't learn from the previous situation, you're going to repeat the same mistakes in the next relationship and just be stuck in the cycle. But once you understand and do the coaching with Andy, essentially, you can see why you kind of ended up in the situation that you were in. And it allows you to not repeat the same mistakes in your relationships moving forward, and increases your chance ultimately of having the best relationship possible in your life. Anybody that is interested in personal development, full stop, would benefit from coaching with you, because it's very expansive, regardless of the level of charge or situation that you're trying to overcome. Just the coaching calls in themselves, and the way you ask the questions, and your understanding of the method and personal development as well, it just allows you to broaden your horizons mentally a lot. And that transpires into all different areas of life and dealing with other people.